Hello, everybody. First, I'm going to raise my hands in victory. Ah. Okay, let's have a cup of tea. Let's have a discussion. All right. So, our Congressional UAP report was released today, and a lot of people, I've been looking at the comment section of a lot of these videos. A lot of people are just angry, frustrated, furious because this report exhibited truthful, unbiased behavior and did its job. It was only two people. They covered 144 cases, and they said that in all but one, they didn't have a ready explanation. There are some groundbreaking things that happened today that are going to reverberate through history, and I think a lot of you don't get it. And I want you to get it because some of us are friends. Some of you subscribe to my channel, and I know I mostly cover martial arts, but this is important. This is really important. Pay attention. First of all, I think a lot of people expected, they would be satisfied with nothing but a report that said all UFO cases are absolutely true, and they say here are the number of alien species. This is absolutely alien technology. Here are these are the aliens from Zeta Reticuli, and these are the reptilians, and they wanted a full report on. They wanted a billion things that aren't even in the scope of the report. All right, and they're treating it as some loss, some cover up, when they don't know that they've won, they've won, they've won. If you are a true believer in that there is something to this UFO thing, you think this is probably alien technology or something, and you're angry and you're ready to kill me just because of this video, you have won. You have won probably the biggest, hugest victory that you ever needed to win to eventually win people over to your side. The biggest obstacle was crossed today. So let's talk about some key findings. This is almost like a confession. First of all, the report stated that in 143 of 144 cases that they investigated, because they can't investigate or look at anything. It's two people operating off of computers and phones doing what's called a meta-analysis. The fact that they could cover 144 cases in 6 months is actually kind of miraculous, believe it or not. If you truly want to look at the evidence, they said these are not radar glitches. These are not technological glitches. This is not a problem with our radar systems or our radar operators or our pilots. They said in 143 cases that they've investigated, the equipment, the radar, the cameras, and the people interpreting this equipment and operating this equipment functioned as they were supposed to. Okay. Another thing they said was these are three-dimensional objects that exist that are detected oftentimes by 2 to 3 separate sensory inputs. That means that many times it's a combination of radar and visual, or radar visual as a naked eye and camera, and radar visual naked eye as well as infrared. Oftentimes multiple radar sources, multiple visual sources, multiple infrared sources, like the Tic Tac UFO with the two pilots. There were two people per FA-18. That means 4 people witnessed this. There were 2 sets of aircraft radar at the very least, and then ship-based radar, visual and infrared. Okay? In other words, they're saying something exists. And then they confirmed that the objects move at hypersonic speed and display capabilities of movement not in line with any of our technology or any known foreign technology, right? That is not a confession that it is an alien thing. but it is a form of technology alien to our knowledge and alien to our intelligence of other foreign technologies. In other words, they're saying that they have ruled out beyond a reasonable doubt that these are are foreign drones, domestic drones, or domestic military technology. Okay? And they have confirmed that along with the hypersonic speed and seemingly impossible under our type of physics maneuvers, that these are often transmedium technology, which means in at least one case a submarine was sent to try to track the object after it went underwater, and they use sonar. So it doesn't show up on sonar, although they were tracking it on infrared radar visual, and then later tried sonar. They are truly, and now people are like, they're hiding the aliens. They're not talking about Roswell. It was not in the scope of the report. The scope of the report was on UAP sightings in recent history around naval assets and possibly land-based nuclear assets. They weren't asked to look at Area 51 or Roswell. That's another issue. It's like getting mad at your mechanic because he didn't water your plants. It's like getting mad at the pediatrician for not giving your wife breast implants. It's an illogical, irrational expectation. And you're better served by not dwelling on that. Okay? However, what has happened? What does this mean? What does this proclamation mean to us, to our society, to our civilization? This topic now has gone, and they've also, I should mention more, they said that in at least 14 cases, there were near misses with the pilots, that these objects flew so close to our aircraft, our military assets, that there was a threat of collision. And they stated that this phenomena, these objects, whatever they are, whatever their origin, pose a potential threat to national security. Now, some of the UFO buffs, true believers, are like, oh, they're trying to demonize our alien brethren. You've got to realize you can only go by the evidence that you have, right? If you have evidence that a thing exists, but you haven't talked to it and it hasn't talked to you, you don't know if it's benevolent or not. However, anything flying near a military asset, like an aircraft carrier, by the way, is never alone. It's always part of a task force. It always has other accompanying ships. It has its aircraft. It has submarines. It's being tracked by satellite. It is pretty much a military base with assets floating around in the ocean. All right. Anything that is not approved, invited, and with a security clearance around these assets is a threat to it. Anything with a sufficiently powerful propulsion drive is a threat. Now, by saying that a thing exists, that it exhibits unexplainable characteristics, that it has existence in empirical reality because it shows up on multiple sensory modalities, they're saying this is worthy of investigation. And remember, it's a preliminary. I'm going to say this 3 times. I think people don't get things. It is a preliminary. It is a preliminary report. It is a preliminary report. Preliminary report. It means that it is a pre means before. It is a before the other report, before other investigation. It is now a call to investigation. Now, government money, time, and attention can be devoted towards this topic, being that it has been determined that it is a real phenomenon and it is significant enough that it is both a threat to national security and unknown. That means that now it enters the realm of science. It enters the realm of inquiry. In the past, prior to this day, There's been an air of derision and mockery around this topic. Okay? Scientists were afraid to look at it and talk about it and even speculate about it and do math about it out loud. Well, now scientists can contact or be contacted by the government, by the Department of Defense, and say, I have an idea, I have a hypothesis, I have a possible way of studying these things. Is there a job opening? Is there a voluntary committee I can join? Dr. Avi Loeb published a podcast today that talked about that, and he said, I volunteer to be on any committee investigating this phenomena. And he is one of the giants of astronomy today. He even said that the study of, he said there only needs to be one of these things from extraterrestrial origin in order for the extraterrestrial origin hypothesis to be true. And he said investigating this would be more significant, more important to our scientific understanding of the cosmos than the study of dark matter, and I believe it. Okay. So if a luminary as great as Avi Loeb is already saying, I'll volunteer to help investigate any committee you're on, I'll volunteer, he's saying he'll do it without pay, right? Folks, stop your whining, stop your complaining, embrace this moment. Now it is time to take advantage of this opening. Do hard science, do hard thinking, to apply Occam's razor, to apply sensors, civilian cameras, all of these things. Look for private and government donors to now investigate with logic, with caution, results. Stop your ranting and your raving and your cursing and your speculation and say, this is a real thing, and now let's really look at it with all of our mental capacity to use logic and develop knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on what may be one of the most monumental new discoveries or new areas of potential discoveries in modern science. Okay? Don't shoot the messenger. Embrace this message and now take it to its logical conclusion.